Welcome everybody back to Boost in Motion, guys. And today we're going to talk about it. The Nissan Z embargo is over. A bunch of YouTubers, a bunch of editorials, a bunch of reviewers are dropping their videos talking about it. But on this channel, we don't really care about that fluff. We want to know did they deliver? Did Nissan deliver? So, guys, you already know what to do. Let's hit that intro. Welcome everybody back to Boost in Motion, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Thank you. Welcome everybody back to the channel. First thing I want to say is if you are a subscriber to the Boost in Motion channel, guys, hit the like button, please, and thank you. The reason why is when you guys hit that like button, YouTube recommends my channel to other people just like you, and then my channel continues to grow and we do more and amazing things. So if you want the Boost in Motion channel to be successful, guys, please hit the like button. And if you are new to this channel, watch some other videos. I am Boost in Motion. I've owned two Infinity Q50s and Q60s with the VR30, the same motor that is in the new Nissan Z. So out of all the YouTubers out there, only a small bunch of us have all the information about this platform and about building these cars to be fast, and I'm one of them. So you should definitely tap in with the Boost in Motion channel. But anyways, guys, let's go. Let's jump into it. Now I want to do a quick screen share, and I'm going to put up this article from Drive, right? Because I don't want you guys looking at me. I'm not that attracted to really look at, like, ugh. But the reason why I'm putting this up is this, guys, right? We officially know the price of the Nissan Z. Now there will be three different models. You're gonna have the base model that starts at around $41,000, which is considered the sport model. I don't know why they call it sport. We'll get into that a little later. Then they have the performance trim, which bumps up to about 53. I think it's about $53,000. And then they have the proto spec. I'm not even going to talk about the proto spec. We're going to keep on the performance and the sport model, right? These cars, between the performance and the sport, they're pretty much identical. But let's just get this price part out. I said that they're going to price this car at around $40,000. And I was right. Anybody who's been on this channel for 2-3 years, I said this car is going to cost about $39,000 to $41,000, and it's going to be two different levels. I did say in an older video that I wish they would have. I would assume that they would have used a smaller displacement motor. I was wrong. I also stated that they were going to have two different versions: the 300 horsepower version, the 400 horsepower version. I was wrong. They kept with one version, the same power level. But what they chose to do is give you guys a performance edition, which has more of the bigger wheels, better tires, better suspension, right? And and an LSD. Now the sport model, which really isn't even a sport, you don't get the BBK. I know most likely you're not going to have the more adjustable suspension. It's probably more regular suspension that doesn't have that you won't be guys won't be able to adjust. You probably have the smaller 18-inch wheels, of course, the smaller, more eco tires, and you don't get an LSD. So the first big gripe I have about this is there's a $10,000 price between the sport and the performance. And anyone who's been in the Nissan Infinity gang knows that this is BS. Reason being is Infinity and Nissan has always done aesthetic modifications and a little bit of sport modifications, but charge you a hefty price. So for them to actually jump up to $50,000 because you added a BBK to the car is utterly ridiculous. So that already lets you guys know. We over here in this Boost Motion channel know that we boost on a budget. But at the end of the day, that 10K above just for a BBK, most of us put BBKs on our Q50, Q60, G37, and 370s already. We already know this is the same run-of-the-mill car. They literally is a parts bin car. So we're going to continue to talk about it, right? Now, right now, I'm gonna see the curb weight is between about 3,500 to 3,600 pounds. There's really not much a huge difference between the 9-speed automatic and the 6-speed manual. We're talking about 40 to 50 pounds, nothing crazy, no big, huge difference. So, yes, this car is about 3,500 pounds. It's not super light. It's about 2 to 3, I think about almost 200 pounds, a little bit heavier. So, it really won't be able to compete in the weight category. Sorry to throw the super stuff up, but it's his competitor. This is what everyone in this market want to choose to purchase. A couple other things. I'm just going to go through this article. I'm not really going to read too much here. Stuff that just stood out to me. I like that it has a front adjustable sway bar. I've seen that in older pictures, but they knew that this car needs to, for people who they might want to adjust the front sway bar. Also, shout out to Savage Geese. If you're not subscribed to the Savage Geese channel, I've been subscribed to him since like 30,000 subscribers. He has like well over 400, 500,000 subscribers. And he's a very detailed YouTuber, and they're very informational. They don't just make wow videos that you guys go and just click a light on because it was a fun video. You guys didn't learn anything. Savage Geese teaches you about the cars. You get to learn about the cars, and you actually get a connection with it. And he did a good video with Nissan talking about this Nissan Z. But they did upgrade a lot of the stiffness in this car. They said about almost 80% of this car is actually new, completely designed new. We know that this car was already built on the Z34 or the Z34 chassis, but it's called an RZ34 chassis. So it's pretty much just renovated or renewed, whatever you want to call it. But they did make the car a lot better, right? For me to continue, let me see if there's anything that just poked out that really just caught my eye. Of course, we know we have a 6-speed manual, 9-speed automatic. Nothing else really there. Like honestly, because they've been talking about this car for years. I already like knew what was going on. And most of us been following. We already like nothing really stands out to us. I mean, what I would say is this, right? Because there's a video going out. Shout out to I think it's Edmonds or whatever. They did a drag race between the Supra that and a Mustang, right? And that's what I'll talk about. And the Nissan Z lost because honestly, Nissan been using Bridgestone tires forever. So whatever agreement they have with Bridgestone, it seemed like it hasn't ended. And this car still has to come from factory with Bridgestone tires. We don't like Bridgestones over here. Michelin's are better. Now, the biggest thing about that situation is that I liked about that drag race is the trap speeds are very similar. Let me see if I could stop doing the screen share right here. Right, the trap speeds were very, very, very similar. Now it trapped about 100 and the car trapped about 116 miles an hour and a quarter mile on the street. And not a lot of people like that because they lost to the Z. Okay, cool. It lost to the Mustang. Okay, cool. It spun out the hole. Okay, cool. What I'm paying attention to is the trap speeds, right? It trapped about 116. Sometimes they like to fluff these numbers, but let's use a quick example. S55 stock, not the competition, not the CS. They trap about 115, 116. So this car is yielding some really good performance. It really is if you're comparing it to a rear-wheel drive M4 of the older S55. But at the end of the day, of course, the 9-speed did a little bit better. The 8-speed on the Z, the Super did a little bit better because it's a slightly lighter car, and it is what it is. But I'm looking at that trap, that mile an hour, and I'm like, this is going to be a dope thing. This is going to be what guys actually need to care about. Because at the end of the day, right, the track speed is the most important. The weight is the most important, right? Give me a second, guys. 1 second, right? 1 second. Bear with me. Bear with me. Let me see if this video comes up, right? I don't want to get demonetized here, right? Bear with me. I'm gonna put up another just a little clip of this. Let me just do a quick screen share. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. Hold on. If you made this part of the video, hit the like button because we're enthusiasts over here. We're not reviewers. I'm not a reviewer. I'm a regular dude that may purchase this car. And I look at some of these things. Yeah, I don't really care for like the manual stuff because I'm not going to get a manual. I'll get an automatic. But let me just do a quick screen share. And I want to show you guys this thing. I want to show you guys what I'm looking at as a possible purchaser of this vehicle. Right? So let me go to YouTube. Okay. Please, YouTube. I don't think I'm not gonna press play. But look at this leaderboard here. The The 9-speed did a 12.3 at 116 miles an hour, right? And the 6-speed did 12.8. Of course, they could probably get a little better with this, with better tires and everything like that. But I'm paying attention to that mile an hour. That mile an hour is 4 miles an hour faster than the 6-speed manual. Now, I'm gonna give you guys the best example, right? Because we're Q50, Q60 owners over here. Red Sports stock can trap right around that 110, 112 mile an hour. So a stock Red Sport or Q60 is gonna Red Sport does right around that 13, 12, 8 at about 112, 113 mile an hour. Here's a good example now. My Q60 and Q50 are trapping between 116 to about 120 because remember I had modified one, right? They were trapping this mile an hour in the quarter mile. But it's just that this Nissan Z had a hard time getting out the hole. But just I want you guys to know your tuned Q50 on 93 fuel is trapping that mile an hour on what this Nissan Z did on regular shitty Bridgestone tires. So you might pull like an 11.9, 11.8, right? And you might have a similar trap speed, but guess what? This Z is stock. And I don't care about what's going on with the Supra. I don't care about what's going on with the GT. I'm looking at that trap speed. If you take that Nissan Z to the track with some NT05Rs and leave everything stock, that car is going to pull with the launch control, is going to pull like an 11.6, 11.7. I bet you that. I bet you that that car is gonna pull a really good time at a track with just tire, everything stock. Don't strip out the interior. That car is gonna be stock, a mid to high 11-second car. I see that happening, and I'm very excited about that because see the difference. That 9-speed already has a higher mile an hour just because of the transmission. That literally shows you our Q50s and Q60s are pretty much handicapped because of the 7-speed auto. But knowing that that 9-speed just did a 116 and everything else is stock, and a 12, which is pretty much 11.9 car, if it got a better 60 foot, yo, I'm very excited about where the Z is going. Now, let me just click this off. Also, what I want to add here is this, right? Because I want to have things that while I'm talking, so that you guys, I'm like, oh, Boost, you're kind of crazy. I'm tired of looking at you. Um, but also, what I want to say is this. Let me see. Let me put this one up. Also, what I want to say when I add is this, right? If I choose to get a Nissan Z, right? The thing that I dislike about this trim level thing is this, right? There's almost $10,000 difference between performance and sport. And you guys that been in this platform know that it doesn't make sense to get the full-fledged performance. Now, I know the guys who care about the bells and whistles are going to get the performance. Some of you guys that are new to this platform are going to be like, "Oh, I'm going to get the performance." But real Nissan Infinity guys going to be like, "No. No, no, no. This is a tuner car. You build this. There's no point in spending 10K over just for an LSD." That's honestly what it is in a BBK. It doesn't make any sense. We care about modifying building our cars. Just like in the Q50, Q60 platform, most people don't go get the red sport. It's another 10K from factory. So why do that? Just if you want to add BBK, you add a BBK, but you don't really have to. In this case, there's an LSD. Okay, oof. Well, Z1 Motorsports and all these other companies gonna probably have an LSD already. It probably reuses. You can probably go buy LSD from AMS or from Z1 Motorsports for like $1,500. And this is also, and you could probably choose your gear ratios too on top of that. I mean, your final drive gear ratios. So this car is a tuner car. I like that Nissan is finally gave it an LSD, but to charge that extra tax just because of that and not include the sport with an LSD, at some point, I think they should have just kept it as a sport or a performance model, and then left one as like a base or touring. The sport model shouldn't have been called sport. It should have been called touring model, right? And just left it as that, but still include an LSD. But I get it. It costs them money. It's nickels that they're trying to regain, and I get it. But if it was really up to me, I would actually prefer to purchase the sport model. Yes, I know that the performance model is going to have a little bit more bells and whistles when it comes to the sport packaging, but I don't care for that stuff. I want it for the performance. I can add an LSD at this point. I'm saving 10K, especially if these cars might be bubbled up based on the amount of price that you actually or guys are going to be overcharged for it. I'd rather not overpay already for a car that's already going to be unnecessarily at $50,000, because the performance is not a $50,000 car. I don't care what no one says. Inflation back in the day. No, that car is not a $50,000 car. Period. It is not. It is not a $50,000 car. And if you had to choose between a performance model Z and a Supra, of course, the B58 one, I would rather get a Supra over the performance model of this, because no, this is not a $50,000 car. $40,000 is a good price for this car was, maybe 45. But you know what? Take the $41,000. You guys, if you want to go purchase it, that's the car that I recommend you guys go get. If you want to add a BBK, do it. But most of you guys are not going to need to do that. You can go with better brake pads, a brake pad set, and a different fluid, and you're good to go. This car is light enough, it can be able to take the abuse. Not like the Q50, Q60s, which you could take it, but it's a lot heavier car. It's not built to be that way, right? You're still getting a manual. You're still getting an automatic. There's no additional price between if you want to go between the two, right? So once I saw all of this, I said, no, just get the Sport. So anyone's watching, get the Sport. Infinity Boost Motion family, get the Sport. If you want to get the performance, go ahead. I respect it. I see it. I understand it. I respect you. But at the end of the day, yo, oh my God, I'm thinking about MSRP, resale value. We're not worried about that right now, because we're still in an inflated market and there's going to be a shortage. So everything's going to be inflated, right? But down the line, if you choose to keep this car, I don't know if anyone wants to spend $65K plus on this car. It's not worth it. It's not worth it, in my opinion. But outside that, guys, you have a good morning, good afternoon, good night. Nothing else really popped up in my head. This is just my first opinion on what came out. Maybe in a couple of days, I'll drop some more videos talking about maybe a little bit of the things that I learned. But I'll pass on the performance, and I think Sport is a better idea. So outside that, guys, you have a good morning, good afternoon, and good night. I appreciate you guys for always being with your boy Boost. You guys know what to do. If you made this part, please hit the like button. Thank you, and I appreciate you guys. You guys, have a good day. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Do appreciate you guys. Love you guys very much. You can also check out the 2 links I posted for some of my other videos. Also, on top of that, if you want to purchase some Boost in Motion merch, definitely check the link that I posted also. And finally, if you've been watching all my videos and you enjoy them, please hit the link to subscribe to my YouTube channel.